Do you have any real estate jokes?
Any real estate jokes?
Yeah.
I really don't. Do you?
No. I was trying to think of one on the way here this morning, thinking,
I know some
it's a
dirty
great
jokes.
Friday.
I gotta tell some good, funny jokes.
I'm just trying to think, put some kind of real estate joke out there. I can't think of any.
Real estate's not a joking matter.
I mean, it could be.
Real estate's a pretty serious thing.
Yeah. Welcome to the Real Estate Playground, where we cover everything in the realm of real estate with no fluff and no BS. I'm Todd Erickson.
And I'm Ray Evans. Bringing over 28 years of experience combined, we've seen the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between.
Join us as we take you for a ride through the real estate playground that's full of laughs, knowledge, and perhaps a few unexpected surprises.
So whether you're a realtor, home buyer, seller, investor, or just here for the hilarious stories, we've got something for everyone. Let's get into it.
Like I said, we're getting some new followers. We got some more subscribers to our podcast, and I love the way it's looking. How many are we up to?
So I know right now we have listeners and viewers on all three platforms, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. And I know that our social media platforms, Instagram and TikTok, have started to, I'm not going to say picked up, but we definitely have a lot more followers than we started with, for sure.
You know what's crazy too? Now that we've been doing this for a while, I'm getting some Facebook requests from different
everybody,
brokers and stuff all over the country.
Yeah, we're going into 5 months of doing this now.
No
Episode
way.
12, yeah.
5 months?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's May. We started in January.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're doing the damn thing.
We are doing the damn thing. I think we said that in episode 2.
Do the damn thing. I'm excited about our conversation today and talking about different things with real estate.
Well, and I think too, a synopsis kind of just overall of what we've done within the last 4 months, what we discussed,
right?
Where things are now, what the world looks like for real estate, and where we're going with it,
market trends, stuff like that. Like it's, I see there's like no rhyme or reason to the market right now.
What do you mean?
Well, I can put a house on the market. For instance, I've had a house on the market for almost 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
More expensive house for our area, about $400,000, and it didn't get a lot of showings. It got enough to keep the sellers kind of happy. And they actually received an offer. And I thought the offer was really good. I believe they should have took it. We could have already been closed on it. Mm-hmm. But they squabbled over like $1,500.
I am noticing that there's a little bit more kickback when it comes to negotiating offers and people putting in offers.
Right.
Because we've entered that buyer's market, but sellers don't want to let it go. And so you see a little bit of kickback, even though they know they're going to have to cave or give in at some point and find that happy balance for both.
Yeah. Are we really willing to admit that it's a buyer's market right now? In our market, right? Every market's different.
I think personally, in my eyes, I consider it to be a buyer's market just because sellers are giving more closing costs. They're a little bit more giving when it comes to repairs and giving credits and things like that to the buyers. So I do feel like we have entered that market. I mean, I've got a listing on the market as well. It's been on there for over a month and a half. We've had 3 showings. So I feel like at some point, not putting my client's business out there, but at some point when offers do start coming in, they're going to start not so much with a microscope looking into it, but they're going to be a little bit more cordial and giving, I think, to get the ball rolling.
More motivated to sell.
Right.
It's important to have motivated sellers too when you take a listing, is it not?
Yeah.
It's the same client that I was just talking about. The spouse commutes like an hour and 20 minutes a day to work. And they're like, we can wait.
I actually had a client that I'm working with right now, a buyer. He told me that he's willing to go out an hour and 30 minutes. I was like, are you sure you want to do that?
Could you imagine? That's a long commute every day.
Well, he's military, and all I can think of
180 minutes a day.
Yeah. And I told him too, like, depending on when you have to be at work, you have to be mindful too of the traffic, getting there, what route you're going to be taking, because he works here at Camp Lejeune. And in my eyes, I would consider most military want to stay within 30 to 45 minutes of the base.
Right.
So I don't know. It's different for everybody.
It's important in the military to be on time.
Yeah. But I will say, I mean, yes, I mentioned obviously that I consider us to be in a buyer's market. We're also in PCSEs here in North Carolina, because obviously, like we said before, Camp Lejeune is one of the larger military bases here in the United States. But we don't know if it's a buyer's market in all states.
Right.
And so
Right.
leave us some comments. Let us know what kind of market you guys are in right now, or what you guys consider yourselves to be in. I'd like to hear about it.
And real estate is so local in nature, right?
Absolutely.
It's so important that people understand that it's local. So some of the things we say here about the market that we're actively listing and selling in sometimes might not apply in a different market. So would love to hear from some of you out there what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Well, and I wanted to bring it up too, since we're kind of just talking a little bit about everything, just kind of in the big giant fishbowl. Lately, I've been hearing a bunch of people, not here, just a bunch of people in general talking about how interest rates have skyrocketed and they just keep growing. But the thing that I want to put out there as well, like I said, my personal opinion to the viewers and listeners, they have not skyrocketed. If anything, interest rates are normalized. They are where they're supposed to be.
Right.
And there may be some people that disagree with me, but I feel like what we saw before COVID, that was like a fluke.
If you're waiting for 3%, you're never going to get it.
Right.
You need to get in the market.
And then people thinking that the market's going to crash because it's getting up so high. No, if you go back to like 2010, 2012, interest rates were in the 9%. Some people were buying in the 12%.
Wow.
So, I mean, I feel like
that was before my time. I never saw the highest interest rate I think I saw was, like recently when it was pushing 8.
Yep.
For a little while there. It was close to like 7 and change, right?
Yeah. So there's a realtor I follow in Atlanta, Georgia. She's real well known out there. Her name is Glenda Baker. She also has a podcast as well called Glenda's Guru. I've been listening to her a little bit because I'm always curious to know what they're doing in other states. And I know that she's a real top producing agent out there, real popular. And so one of the things that she had mentioned on interest rates was for people to stop paying so much attention to where the interest rates are, pay attention to the mortgage payment.
Right.
Because that's what's going to be the most important. Because the interest rates, don't expect them to go back down to the 3s, like you said. It's going to be a while. I mean,
if ever.
Yeah, but I
mean,
was
historic lows.
They were
in the history of the world.
Well, and you think it was literally. They always tell us that you don't want to get into a bidding war, but I feel like during COVID, when they were getting down into the 2s, it was like. You show the house. Did you ever see the TikTok videos where people run through the house real quick to show all the bedrooms and things like that? I feel like you were literally running through the house to get outside the door, text the agent, and say, I'm submitting an offer. You didn't get a chance to look at the documents. You didn't really get a chance to talk about it.
Right? Like
Very.
There's some fallout from that too. That's probably coming.
I feel like we're already starting to see some of it now. I feel like we're starting to find sellers who are getting close to just breaking even because they didn't necessarily find such a great investment property. They were just trying so quickly to get into a house.
And they didn't care what they paid for it. They just wanted it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of crazy. And that's why even through that period, I advised my clients, like, let's not get in this bidding war. Let's find a house that maybe isn't as appealing to the eye, but has good bones, that you can have like a little bit of what they call sweat equity. You go in there and you spend a weekend painting or ripping out some old floors and put some new floors in. That would have been a much better decision than paying $15,000 over asking price.
Yeah, I will never forget. I had
crazy. It was just nuts. I'm so glad that that's over. It was a stressful time, man.
I had a client that
I'm glad that's over.
Searched, and they were living in California. So a lot of it was done via Zoom virtual tour. And I think we ended up we put in 14 offers before we finally got an offer submitted.
14 offers.
And literally the thing is
crazy.
The offer that we submitted, I found out afterwards that we were not technically the best offer. Back then they were trying to say no buyer love letters, it's prohibited.
Right.
I didn't necessarily give a buyer love letter. It was more of like that gray area loophole that I like to kind of dive into a little bit and just swim because I feel like
you're telling on yourself.
But you know what? The thing was, it was one of those things where I did it more out of frustration. When I was talking to the agent, I was like, I don't know how to get them under contract on something because every time we submit an offer, we get beat out. I was like, how am I supposed to ever find them a home with them being in California? And somehow all of a sudden, the next day we got a call and said that our offer was accepted. So I didn't necessarily give a buyer love letter. I just expressed my frustrations and they got it.
I did some really cool videos with when we were in those multiple offer situations. I would actually line up all of the offers on the table. Like we'd have like 12 offers.
Wow.
And I would just line them up. We would do a net sheet. My assistant created this really cool spreadsheet.
And was this on the new construction properties that you guys do too?
No.
Or just your listings?
No, the new construction, a lot of times when they brought us an offer on it, we were able to get that over to the builder and get that signed off. I mean, that's similar. That's kind of a retail environment. I mean, obviously everything's negotiable, but the builders weren't really giving any kind of concessions like they're giving now.
That was another thing I was saying. That's why I think it's a buyer's market.
Yeah.
They're giving a lot more in concessions.
I submitted an offer on new construction the other day, and the builder was not advertising any kind of incentive.
Mm-hmm.
And we put, I think we put 4,000 or 5,000 on there. They countered back to 2,400. I presented that, and my initial reaction, kind of what we talked about the last, one of the last episodes we did, where we talked about agents and difficult agents.
Mm-hmm.
I almost entered the difficult agent realm. And I was like, 2,400, man. People are giving like 8,000 right now, 6,000. But the one thing that we took from that show, and one thing we discussed, was you leave it between the buyers and sellers.
Absolutely.
So I told him, I said, listen, man, I said, we can push back and we can try to go for more. I said, or if it's all right with you, you know, we can go back and say 4,000, try to get 4,000 instead of 2,400. But really, sir, it's up to you.
Right.
Or we can just put this thing under contract right now. Which would you prefer?
What did he do?
You know what he said?
What did he say?
He said, I'm not worried about that $1,600.
See,
I said, deal.
Yep.
I said, I'll let him know we have a deal.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know, instead of prolonging it, because sometimes as the agent, you could prolong it.
Right.
And guess what happens when you prolong the negotiation? Somebody else can come in and grab it. And then what service have I done my client? If he needed that $4,000,
yeah,
that's a total different thing.
I feel like that's
but
where
I asked him that question.
Yeah, I feel like that's where it's coming into play too, not putting anybody's business out there, but I do feel like there's some agents out there that are trying to play chicken to see how far they can go before you'll crack.
Yeah.
And if someone disagrees with me, hashtag if the shoe fits, because if you disagree, then I feel like obviously you may be one of those agents. I know we have one here where she's going through a battle right now. They're supposed to be closing this month, and it's being pushed and pushed and pushed and delayed. And now they're wanting to use the clauses you can use that built-in clause to the contract, obviously, for different reasons. But I feel like you should be using it smart. It's being unethically used.
Which clause are you talking about?
So they've got like the 7-day clause where you can extend. And
do you remember when it was 14 days?
I do remember when it was 14 days.
And I wish that it wouldn't have changed.
But that's just our contract. That's not in other states. That's just how we do it.
The reason that they changed it is because people were abusing it. 14 days was a lot better. This thing is, there's a lot of moving parts that have to happen.
So look, there is an agent here in the Onslow County area who is technically abusing it. I've heard it. I've seen it firsthand. I'm not going to drop those names. Obviously, that agent's taking care of business the way they're supposed to be. But it just makes me feel bad for her clients.
How are they abusing it exactly?
I think it goes more along the lines of they were supposed to close on a specific date.
Right.
And now that date has been changed because the seller wants to change it. And she scheduled the belongings to be picked up after closing. Now, technically, anything after closing belongs to the buyer at that point.
Right.
So there's a lot of back and forth, tit for tat that's going on. And they're trying to utilize that 7-day clause because the seller doesn't want to leave. Right. And I feel like that's not why. And now they're trying to use the excuse that it's a lender issue, that there's lender
a language
problems
in there too. It says as long as both parties are acting in good faith.
Correct. And that's
so it's not good faith if I know that my people don't want to close until the 8th, but I purposely put the 1st just so I could get the contract, right? Or make my offer look more attractive. Mm-hmm.
And I think the big thing for them,
that's why they changed it from 14 to 7.
Yeah.
But the 7 really makes it a lot more tighter and just,
So the buyers in this situation, they're coming, I think, from California, and their belongings are getting dropped off in a pod.
Right.
And it was supposed to be getting dropped off the day after closing, I think. So there's a lot of back and forth that's going on with the seller stuff not being out. The buyer stuff is
so they've already closed on the property?
No, they've now had to push closing because they're trying to not do seller's possession after closing.
Right.
But then it's a whole mess. But it's one of those, like, let's pull the chicken game.
Do you do a lot of that? Seller's possession, buyer possession? Do you?
It depends on the circumstance. Do I like it? Necessarily no. But I do understand that in some circumstances, like right now, PCS season, my listing that I have, the sellers obviously need possession until July 1st.
Right.
Now, if there's a buyer that's coming from Camp Pendleton, California, or they're coming from somewhere else, and they just want to go ahead and have you smiling, I don't even have the camera on you.
Just in case it was,
but obviously,
I feel awkward looking at the camera.
I feel like you've got sellers that may want to still close early, or buyers that want to close early, so they know that house is solidified. So when they get here, it's ready to go.
Right.
And so in a seller's possession after closing, I think that's not so bad. Buyer's possession before closing does scare me because anything could happen to the home. No matter how long they're in there, they could burn the house down the first day by putting a box on the stove and hitting the burner.
And look, I'm telling you, then there's an insurance issue.
There is. But they're supposed to have rental insurance during the time that they're in there as well.
That's one thing that I require.
Yep.
Real estate is a complete risk management. The transaction, you need to really be thinking about risk management throughout the transaction. But you can also overanalyze it too and kind of paralyze yourself with all the different stuff. And sometimes agents' asses are on the line on these deals, which means brokers' asses are on the line. So we try to teach our people to just, think it through. And we try to teach some risk management classes. We bring in different people. I know our cat lady, she does a good job with some of that risk management classes. She does a lot of teaching.
Well, mind you, for our listeners that don't know, when he says cat lady, it's not literally a
crazy
lady
cat lady
in her slippers here at the office.
There's like 17 cats. It's it's the cat lady office.
Hangs out by the trash can.
Oh my gosh, there are cats outside.
Is there?
There used to be even more of them.
I know we got like
it up and stuff.
a goose. We got a goose out there.
I love
the shit all over the damn sidewalk.
It's more than one goose. It's these damn city goose. What the hell are they doing in the middle of the city?
I love it that a lot of people won't stop for pedestrians, but you let those Canadian geese cross the main highway in Jacksonville and it
Crossing
stops
Western Boulevard.
all traffic.
Listen, one time this is terrible. I can't believe I'm laughing. One of the people who used to work with me, near and dear to my heart actually, but we won't use their names, but she came to work just in tears. She had her daughter in the car and stuff. And somebody just freaking plowed through those things, man. Feathers everywhere. It was
I did hear about something like that, but I don't know if that's the same thing.
It happened. Now, this was years and years ago, way before I even knew you.
Well, and think about it too. Those that may be texting and driving and not paying attention, you just whack a good one.
Texting and driving. Do you know what
I didn't say me. I just said somebody.
Some of our younger, more hip agents have told me the other day, they're like, I can't believe you don't use voice to text.
I do, but I don't like it.
I've recently started using it and I kind of dig it.
But you gotta be careful.
You gotta correct it. You gotta correct it sometimes.
Because if you are driving and you do talk to text, you do still need to proofread it, because there has been some times where.
Do you use punctuation when you do it? Because I'll say like, hey, I'm going to be at the office soon, period.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to say period at the end to end the sentence? Do you say period?
I do. So I'll be
or does it automatically do that?
Hey, Ray, exclamation point. What are we doing this morning, period?
Today's have no idea.
A Friday.
We have no idea what we're doing. You know what I really want to do today?
What?
I really want to go play some golf. I have the fever coming off of the very successful Elite Service Foundation golf tournament that we had last Friday.
It was good.
It was really good. We had 39 teams out of the 40 slots. So we had one late cancellation, but I think everybody had a good time and we raised good money for our charity and stuff.
Did we figure out what the score was for the winner? Did they say it?
To be honest, by the end of the day,
I think everybody was wore out.
I was pretty tired.
Everyone's tired. Everyone had some drinks. It was a good time. I enjoyed myself, but I was the morning crew.
Did you hang out for the afternoon at all, or did you have to go back to work?
Did
you go back to work?
Nope, I went home.
Did you really?
And took a shower because it was muggy. It was hot. We went out with the dew sweepers. Nice. I got a video of an agent first hit and slipping and sliding.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that's Sarah.
Sarah. Oh, you gonna put her out there like that?
Sarah Ewing. She slipped out of her shoes. I'm surprised she didn't hurt herself.
She caught herself.
I'm gonna have to get different insurance next year for those kind of golfers.
For those kind of golfers.
Yeah. I had a bunch of my friends in town from Ohio. They 15 guys drove down here, and we ended up making a big golf tournament weekend out of it. So
nice.
What's really cool is one of the gentlemen that I first time I ever met him that came with this group. He's some kind of an official for AmVets up in Ohio.
Okay.
And
what is that?
AmVets.
For anybody that doesn't know.
AmVets. I don't know what the acronym is, but it's basically a veteran organization that helps vets.
Okay.
I know when I got out of the Marine Corps, AmVets helped me prepare my VA disability paperwork.
Nice. See, and so some of our viewers may not know that.
That was a really cool thing.
That's good.
They host a golf tournament. He was so impressed with what we did. He pulled me to the side and goes, "Hey man, we have a golf tournament at the end of this month, and every year we get to pick a charity that we raise the money for, and we're gonna pick you guys." He said they raise between $6,000 and $8,000 at the.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's like $6,000 to $8,000 in fundraising that I don't have to do for the foundation this year, which is really cool. Or we'll still do the fundraising. We'll just have another $6,000 to $8,000.
Yeah,
to give away.
Not bad.
Pretty cool thing. So the podcast is going well, right? This is episode
So we are currently on episode 12.
12. That's the one we're recording right
Today?
now.
Yeah.
Today. Yeah. I listened to episode 11 first day it came out, so you didn't have to get on to me.
I always try to tell Ray that he needs to listen to the episodes to make sure that he likes it, because once we finish, obviously I take them home, edit them, make them sound all nice and pretty for you guys, and then they get shot out.
Tries to make me look
midnight
good.
on Mondays.
Cuts out all the weird things I say.
Like right now.
50% of them. I miss Carrie today. You know, we have somebody that we were putting on.
Yep. So as you can see, we are missing our newest permanent guest. Yeah. Someone actually said something to me about that the other day. They were like, "You mentioned that she's a guest and not a host." So Carrie is actually going to be a sub-host. So me and Ray obviously will be the main hosts of the Real Estate Playground, but she'll fill in here and there as a sub-host and give additional commentary.
Did you bring her on because you're afraid I'm not going to show up on some Fridays?
I did not.
Oh, good.
But
I'm just kidding.
In the case that you don't, we have somebody to fill in that spot.
And listen, I'm willing to learn the equipment stuff. You have to teach me.
Oh, really?
Teach me your ways, master.
Okay.
Seriously, I mean that you know, like this is a commitment that we made to
absolutely
to create this show for not only for ourselves but for all of our people out there that are starting to follow us and paying attention. Like I think we've been helpful to people.
I think the biggest thing if doing this right here is you having to memorize the buttons to know when to toggle the cameras to the person who's speaking.
So you do that like right now when I'm talking, the camera's on me?
I do. And then I switch it back to me and then back to you. Yeah.
Where's the camera now?
It's on you.
Where's the toggle button?
I've got, what are you talking about?
I was just kidding.
You guys can see my hand is right here. So please don't pay attention to all the glittery buttons that you see on the camera in the video. But anyways, going back to Carrie, the biggest reason why is because she ended up winning an award at Casino Night that was thrown here in Onslow County. And now she is currently taking a vacation in the DC area.
That's
going
right.
to see all the monuments.
Some well-deserved time off. She's actually staying at a casino and resort.
Oh, lovely.
That's up in DC. I haven't even been there myself.
I didn't even know that they had one there.
They do, man. It's up there on the right-hand side as you're traveling up towards DC. It's looks pretty nice. It sits way up too. It looks really dope.
I've been to DC one time, and it was for a funeral.
I love DC.
So,
speaking of funeral, my dog died. Poor Lexi girl. She expired.
She expired?
Yeah, man. She just.
How old was she?
15.
Nice.
15. She had a good run.
She did. She had a good life. Well, I feel like if she was living in Ray's home, she definitely had a good life. She was spoiled.
She was spoiled.
Where's the?
She was so spoiled.
Oh, the rim shot. There we
That's
go.
Right. She was spoiled. Yeah, she just had enough, and we lost her last Saturday.
I'm sorry.
Nah, it's cool. We got her ashes yesterday. They're at my house. Little paw print, so cute.
Is this going to be awkward to talk about on the podcast?
Yeah, I'm probably going to cry. No, man, it's first pet I ever lost. So
ever,
man. I mean, you know, as a kid we had pets, but I don't know what happened to them.
I feel like that's why, like for me, and I get it. I think if any of the pets I currently have would to go, I think, I'd obviously break down. But I did grow up on a farm, grew up in the country area. So we always had consistent pets around us all the time. So when one left, there was always another one that came in. No.
At the farm, you just cap them?
No. We're going to have to cut this out. I can't talk about pets dying on a podcast.
I'm just kidding. No, man, I think pets are an important part of real estate too. You know, a lot of families have pets, and
I think you need that emotional disconnect as well. And I think pets bring that because if you're sitting there playing around with your pet, you're not thinking about business or anything in that moment.
The last, I knew that she was fading, so I started like just kind of when I come home at night, just taking her out in the yard and walking around with her a little more than I had, in past months because she was struggling to walk and stuff like that. But I got this really cool video of her hopping around and stuff.
I saw that
a couple of days before, which I kind of knew in my mind that's what was going on with her.
But I feel like if you look at that video and then you hear that it happened a couple of days later, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't look like the same dog.
It totally blew my mind that morning when I got the call. It was crazy. It's really weird.
So how do you feel right now?
I feel like I'm keeping it together for the show. But I'm glad to share because, people love their pets and pets are
absolutely.
A major
You
part
are
of
a
real
pet
estate.
lover.
Oh, yeah. I love my doggies.
Speaking of pets, that's a big thing with real estate too. So if you've got too many pets and you want to move into a house, consider purchasing a home because there are areas where you can have all the pets that you want and you don't have to pay pet fees. Just putting that out there.
Ooh, pet fees.
They are, and they're getting more expensive. There's a lot of places now I'm seeing anywhere from $300 to $350 per pet.
You know why?
Why?
Because it's a profit center for the property management companies and the owners.
And do you know what I found out too? Did you know that they can charge you a pet fee for fish?
Really?
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I need to call my property manager.
So, because I was like,
That's crazy.
well, think about
That's
it too.
ridiculous.
But think about it. What are fish in?
Tank.
How big can that tank be?
Depends.
Huge, right?
Could
It could
be.
take up a whole wall.
Yeah.
How much water is in that tank?
Hundreds of gallons, maybe.
Something happens, table slides into it, somebody busts the tank. What happens?
But what if you have like 3 little goldfish in a bowl? You're going to pay $300 pet fee. That's $900, please. How many goldfish do you
Well,
have?
if it spills on the floor and you don't have LBP and it swells up the floor and
Major problem.
yeah, now that becomes an issue.
Got to have that pet deposit.
Look, and then all I could think about, do you know how many fish I have right now? I have 15 fish.
You have 15 fish?
Could you imagine if they charged a pet fee per fish?
What are you, like farming fish and like getting fresh ones out and
No.
frying them up? I know you're a really good cook.
Not for these. So these are my angelfish. These are my babies. Got to have the clean.
Do you think they would taste good if you have angelfish?
Well, I think to myself, like, okay, because I've been watching Survivor a lot lately.
Oh,
think
yeah,
about
I'm glad
all
you brought that up.
But think about all the tropical fish that are over there in Fiji.
Right.
Would they not taste good?
I don't know.
Because they frying them up. I feel like the angelfish could taste good. Like if the world was coming to an end,
If you had to eat some,
I would. I would.
you would eat your pet.
Hell yeah, I would eat them.
You would eat your pet.
Yeah,
your pet
because it's
fish.
either you or me, and it's not going to
I
be
love
me.
it. Survival of the fittest, right? Hey, man, we're top of the food chain. Top of the food chain.
Yeah,
Top of the food chain. Speaking of Survivor,
of course. I knew
you
you were
were telling me
this.
that you were binge watching Survivor. I've been binge watching something too. We were talking about it earlier. And for some reason, I thought, I guess I had heard maybe that you were trying to get on the show Survivor.
That's right.
You submitted an application.
I did.
So how do you win that? Like what makes
You
your
lie.
You
You
lie?
lie. You deceive. You backstab.
Really? No. I mean, how do you get your application selected? I understand how you win Survivor, but how do you get your application like approved?
So
Do you have to be like interesting and stuff?
I guess in a sense, like you would have to have some kind of story that must touch somebody that's up there in the producing area that's able to do that. So they're always telling you on the show, if anybody watches Survivor, I mean, right now I'm currently binge watching it. I started from the beginning. I'm on season 45 and they've got 48 seasons out.
48 seasons of
Yeah.
Survivor. Holy cow.
So I was like, you know
So
what?
you're like learning how to play and everything. Like you're taking mental notes.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. I feel like sitting on the couch, everyone could say, oh, it's easy. I can do that. But then you hear a lot of people that go on there. It says, I used to be one of those that sat on the couch and it is not as easy as you think it is. But I am curious. I've always wanted to see what it would like to just be stripped of everything and you have to survive out there. No phone, no technology, no AI,
Dude.
no real estate.
I would love to get rid of my phone for a couple weeks. Matter of fact, my phone is over there on the charger and I'm dying to grab it right now.
But you're not going to.
You always make me take my phone off.
But
Where's your phone?
my phone's over there in the chair.
Oh, okay. Do you have phone withdrawals
No,
as a real estate agent
Nope.
sometimes?
nope, not at all.
No.
I can
need
tell
my
that you
phone.
do.
I need my phone.
It keeps making eye contact with it.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
But no, I did. I filled out the application. And what they do is they require you to obviously put in all your information, a little bit about yourself. You submit a profile picture of yourself and a video, just kind of speaking some things. And then it's up to them if they decide
If you're
to
gonna
call you.
Send me your video. I want to see it.
I'm a little nervous because it's like, even though I want to, I'm afraid I'm going to get a call like tomorrow and they're going to be like, hey, you're on the show.
Then I'm going to have to learn how to do the podcast.
Oh, God.
The podcast can be dope while you're gone. It's going to just be totally.
Are you trying to say it's not now with me here?
No, but it's going to be ratchet without your supervision.
That makes me a little nervous.
I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna need
Totally kidding.
all of you
Totally
listeners and viewers to keep him in line, please.
Totally kidding. We will keep it professional.
What about the show that you said that you've been watching lately? What show have you been binge watching?
Dude, I've been watching a ridiculous show called The Righteous Gemstones.
Do any of you guys watch Righteous Gemstones? I feel like they would.
If you're a sick individual and you have a twisted sense of humor, you probably should watch it.
Yeah, see, I've never watched it, so I don't even know what it's about.
Well, have you ever heard of the show Eastbound and Down?
Yes.
Danny McBride.
Okay.
So it's Danny McBride, and they have they're basically like the name of their family is the Gemstone family, and the mom was like this patriarch of the church, but they're running like a mega church, and they are twisted. Like they're crooked as they come. Like it's nuts. I wouldn't call myself a church guy, but I've been to church many times.
Yeah, I praise Jesus.
Me too. Love him with all my heart. But this is just nuts. And that's why it's so funny, because it's so ridiculous of a concept.
Mm-hmm.
It's just silly. I like silly stuff.
I'll check it out. I always tell myself, at least watch the pilot, at least watch the first episode. If it doesn't attract me to want to watch more, then I typically will move on to something
better.
else.
The pilot, the first one is okay. But again, it's just so ridiculous. It's just stupid.
Have you ever watched Schitt's Creek? Now that's a show. I love Schitt's Creek. It is funny as hell.
And look, watching TV goes along with real estate.
It does.
I love being in my house. I love being in the comfort of my living room, and I love being able. That's what having a home is all about.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people want their own home, right? It's because it's that safe place where, at the end of the day, one of the most satisfying feelings in the whole wide world to me about home ownership is when you roll up in your driveway after a long day, good or bad, indifferent kind of day. We all have good days. We all have bad days. Most days are good because we make them that way, because that's our choice. But I love hitting the garage door opener, and that garage just rolls up to my once clean garage. Now my garage.
You said once clean?
Yeah, it was once clean.
I don't know if mine's ever been clean.
I used to park in it. I used to park 2 cars in it, but now there's just stuff. But it's fine.
We parked a car in ours when we first got it, and then it turned into a gym with the cage and the mats on the floor and everything. Then it turned into storage, Christmas decorations, and then now it's just like our whole garage is full, and we just have one little aisleway that walks straight to the door that you need to get into the laundry room.
Well, earlier this week, my spouse had to move stuff out of the way so she could get to the washer and dryer.
Wow.
It was so packed up with stuff. We had to go to the egress door sometimes to do the laundry, but we got it all straightened out.
But look, that's ours. We have a straight shot out to our vehicles. We have a shot that goes off to the side that you can go and dump the trash in the trash cans.
You got your pathway.
Yeah, but I'll be honest. I absolutely agree with you. I think homeownership is amazing. I don't care what anybody says. I think having that little piece that's yours is amazing. I love, and I'll be honest. So have you heard of the Govy lights? It's like a big thing right now. The permanent lights that you put up, and you can change them to anything. They're LED.
No, I haven't. I need to look at those.
Yeah, so I bought Govy lights, and we put them up on the house.
Govy, like government.
Govee.
Okay.
So they've got different brands out there, but I know Govy lights, we put up the permanent because I hate climbing that ladder every Christmas, putting them up, taking them down. So I was like, you know what?
I have so much stuff in bins.
But I'm going to invest in them because they've got settings for 4th of July, Halloween, spring, Easter, Father's Day, NFL, like all that stuff. They have all these different things.
Really?
Yeah. So I invested in them, and I love being able to just come home and the whole house just be lit up however I want it to be that day.
That's
cool. Amazing.
I need to look into that. If I had my phone right now, I would search Govy lights on Safari.
They are a little pricey though. I will say that. I think we paid like $130 a box for 50 feet.
Wow.
But totally worth it. I never got to take them down again. They're up there. So
I can't wait. I'm going to go buy some today. Buy them at like Home Depot, Lowe's or something.
Yeah. I feel like my neighbors are starting to compete against me now because the ones across the street from me now have them. And then 3 houses down has them. And I'm like, we're going to have a whole lit up street.
I don't have a lot of work scheduled this week. I might put some up.
It's worth it.
I mean, what is this? This is May, right? Mm-hmm. May the 2nd today?
We're coming up on Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, yeah.
When is Cinco de Mayo? Is that Monday? Tuesday? Is that Tuesday?
That's Monday, right? Today's the 2nd.
Could be.
The 3rd is Saturday.
Is this episode going to be releasing?
On Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. Nice.
Holy cow.
Have some tacos on us. And some tequila.
Tequila and tacos.
Tequila!
So what's that? Low rider. Yes. Where's the music?
I don't know.
Play the low rider song. Play the low rider.
I'm excited that we've made it to this point. We've made it to episode 12 so far. We still got a lot of gas in the gas tank. And
that's why we kind of chose this format for this episode, just to kind of recap and just almost like a little celebration of getting to this place.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, I feel like this is almost like an ending episode to a season. And now we can start season 2 of the Real Estate Playground.
Of the Real Estate Playground.
Yeah.
And the next episode is going to be about...
That's a real good question. Send us some comments and feedback. What would you like to hear for our next one?
That would be really
I'd
cool.
love to hear other people's thoughts. And if there's anything in particular that you guys are interested in hearing us discuss about, obviously it's our opinion against everybody else's. So
Have we had any haters on there? I mean, I know you're.
I haven't
looking at that
seen
stuff
any
on
yet,
me, like,
but I do believe that if you are hating, you're clearly watching, so you're still a fan, and I'm okay with that.
right. Hate all you want.
Yeah,
Haters gonna hate.
they hate to love us, and I love that.
They hate us because they ain't us.
But actually, I think that's a great end to this episode for the most part. I feel like it's a good Friday. We're closing out season 1
Beautiful
of the
day
Real Estate
outside.
Playground.
Beautiful day outside.
Absolutely.
This is a great day to go to your house and just relax on your pool deck and look at your dog running around the backyard if you have one still. I have one still, so I had 2 dogs.
You still got one.
Yeah, he's a little bummed out. You can see he needs like extra attention right now. So
Well, now you're going to have to get another one and name it Scooter.
ain't gonna do it. Now, actually, my next pet's gonna be a rock.
They won't go nowhere.
I know I can leave it at home for 5 days. I don't have to feed it. It doesn't whine. It doesn't mess up my carpet. So, there's some pluses too. And, I think, well, I won't go there. It'll be another 10 minutes. But no, it's a beautiful day outside. As you can see, I wore shorts with you today.
It's a great day to sell real estate.
Very seldom do I wear shorts into the office, but I've got just kind of a half day today, which is the beautiful thing about the real estate business.
Are you trying to say that you're trying to be like me right now?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Y'all, he even wore his American Hey Dude shoes, which I absolutely love. You got to show them. You got to show them. Show them those pretty legs, Bray. Oh, I thought.
Size 14.
Damn.
Hey, dudes run small.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't know. Mine are 11. I like
But
Hey
I'll
Dudes.
save my legs for another day, another episode. And I'm going to have to start getting paid more for this podcast if I start showing my legs. I'm just saying.
All right, you guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yep. I think that's going to be the end of episode 12 and technically season 1 of the Real Estate Playground.
And thank you, Todd, for always doing such a great job getting this place set up. Like, I'm so fortunate. I get to just show up and talk, and you're out here doing this stuff in the background.
I do it for you. I do it for them because they're the ones that we're doing this for. So if you guys like, love, or hate us, make sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
He didn't let me say that today.
Oh,
Last time I messed it up. But
Go ahead. And what social media platforms can they follow us on?
TikTok and Facebook.
Nope, Instagram. He was close.
Facebook is Instagram now. I put stuff on Facebook still, and I get likes on
Yeah,
Instagram.
so if you post it to Instagram and they're linked, it will carry over to
That's
Facebook.
why I have Carrie, though. Carrie knows all that stuff, man. I'm a very fortunate person.
Yeah, we miss
We
Carrie.
miss Carrie today a lot. So I hope she has a wonderful time.
She'll
Hope
be
she
on
listens to
episode
this.
1 of season 2.
I hope she listens to this on Monday when she wakes up.
She will. I'm sure she will.
She will. So, Carrie, you're missed. We hope that you guys are having a wonderful time
Absolutely.
in our nation's capital with all those cool people up there in D.C.
Yep.
Done.
All right, everybody. We're out. Have a good weekend.